Yeah, the sound is fantastic. All right, sweet. How's everyone doing? I'm back doing more work. Still on this. I finished the windmill animation. I did the minor tweaks of the hands spinning out. So as you'll see, it's like it doesn't do a perfect circle. It pulls in when coming back, and then goes back out when it goes back out forward. I stretch it out forward so that it has a larger impact when reaching you, because that way it can actually reach you. Otherwise, you get a scenario that it's just gonna be tiny and it's gonna be at its like waist, which you don't want. I got a webcam now. So yeah, there's that. There's that. You can see my face. Yeah, so we're gonna finish. We're done with this guy. Let me see if this is working. It should work. Chat connect. It's connected. Let me type if it works. Best. Okay, it works. Yeah, it works. And yeah, so now I'm just gonna do the other animations that I have to do for this character. I'm gonna type as loud as I can, just to bug you guys. Boards, Spartan fist. That's fix. Tech animations. Okay, so the windmill done. It's done. I uploaded it and I checked. What was that? And I checked the. I gave her the times for when it drops in and out. Let's see, assets. Shit, what was it? It was animations, yes. Anyway, walk. It's gonna be exported just in case. I've encountered a really weird bug with, between Maya and Unity. That is, when you're exporting an animation in Maya, and before the export's actually completely done, and you decide to switch to a different screen or anything really, once you go back in Unity, Unity completely misreads the asset, and everything you did is gone, and the file is totally broken. And then you need to either revert or re-export it again, and hope that it works. The reverting definitely works, but then the re-exporting again, that part tends to not work. So it's a weird bug, really weird bug. And there's no real way to fix it unless Unity and creators of Unity and Maya decide to suddenly actually fix that and talk to each other, because they never talk to each other for that. So yeah, it's weird. The outline makes you look cell shaded. Does it? Nice. Good. I've always wanted to be cell shaded. I always wanted to be part of Borderlands. The world of Borderlands. Let's see, so I got the windmills done. Wind up punch is next, I guess. Let's do the wind up punch. Ah. 855, right? Is where I ended it? Why is that 885? Oh, 855 is where it starts. Ends at 885. Okay, so we're gonna do 890. That's the interframe. As usual, key all, and then 890. And 895 would be the new start for the wind-up punch. 95 to 925 for a full 30 frames. Being more anime is a very bad thing. You're talking about me, like the outline? Also, Metadep. That name tells me something. Who's Metadep? Someone in this office. Yeah, Alex. Takes a sec. I remember you now. Okay, so let's see. We got the tag animation, wind up punch. Okay, spin one arm up for a second, and then let go. Okay. So full second, full 30 frames of the wind up. I could do like, yeah, I'll do one arm out. So the wind up pose would be here. Had to be rotated forward. Just realized I better be consistent with what arm is the punching arm, or else it's like, is this character ambidextrous or are they right-handed? It's a real questions people will be asking. They need to do a bigger rotation. Yes, so this foot's gonna go forward. The foot is gonna go back. And we're gonna bring the knee out. And this one's gonna spin, so we're gonna do the whole spin thing. The hand's gonna come out and it's gonna wind up. Ow. It's gonna wind up and then punch. You can hear rumblings of the DLR equipment. Really, I didn't realize. That's fine. That's okay. Alright, so the wind up, it's going to be for the full second. And that's going to be one animation, then it's going to lead into a second animation. And I'm going to split those into two animations. So this is going to rotate all the way around twice. Come on. There we go. That's one. This is not going to work. Alright, so I'm going to have to change the position of this to what I had done before, zeroing out. And 0, 0, 0. Okay. I'll be as flexible as possible with this, so long as this arm is the one that does the wind up, I'm fine. Rotate, it's on the X, yeah. 720. Okay, so I need to figure out pose this arm. Be like, I guess more or less like this. Yeah, so when it goes back here, it's going like that. So let's do what? Yeah, that's fine. Clips through for a second, so but it's not an issue. One, two. Okay, I'm gonna take you, gonna edit the graph. Okay. Perfect. I'm gonna do a slight lean back. I hear my name. I can barely hear.
We're talking about having a sign here, like a zoo exhibit with your name and scientific name, and like your bio.
My scientific name is my full name.
Like place of origin, like a little map showing.
Hey, Rabe Sandrentin. Tell us more about Outcast. Outcast 1990. Oh, I'm so lost. Do I look like a character from the show? Is it a show? It's a show. I'm sorry, I don't know what Outcast is. I've never seen it. I was far too young to watch something like that at that time. Let's see. Okay, so that's gonna lead back. Good rotation. So the people at Chucklefish are planning to turn me into a zoo exhibit. I'm gonna put up a little sign with my name, and then underneath that the full scientific name, which would be all my initials included, all my middle names included, and I find that hilarious. Okay, so that's probably all right. I can probably increase the actual rotation as a whole to like 980, sorry. Oh, I have to do more than just that, okay. 1080. Yeah, that seems to work better. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3. I actually like the rotation. It clips in a little bit, but it works. It's the AAA Voxel game from 1999. What? What? I did not know about this. After this ad. Oh shit, I remember now. Okay, yes. Yes, I remember Outcast. Oh my god. It's interesting because that was like one of the first games I used like an actual full voxel system to make this open world, this massive world. I remember this. Man, this blew my mind when I saw it. I didn't even know it was voxels at the time. I just thought it was an open world game. But like then I remember when I was doing research, this came up in my research when I started a few years ago doing voxel art. I was looking for voxel games and damn, that thing. It was meant to popularize the voxel technology but totally failed at it. Here's the thing. Every game that tried to popularize voxels in games but then used the same aesthetic as polygon stuff. So they used the voxel tech to do the whole terrain manipulation and stuff, and the whole models and stuff. And it's good for rendering. It was really good for render tech and stuff to do like active destruction and stuff. But you can only go so far with that kind of mechanic. I don't know. It was really interesting. Its open world philosophy is the same as Zelda Breath of the Wild. Yeah. Didn't you also do live streaming? Hey, Mike and the rest. Yes, I do live streaming. It's just been ages, and I'm not consistently live streaming, though I might more consistently soon when I start working on my own projects and stuff. But yeah, like there's a possibility of it becoming more consistent. All right, so that's the wind up is done. I don't think I'm gonna add more to it. It'd be dangerous to do so. Because there's gonna be walking animation, so the character's kind of gonna like walk towards you while winding up. So there's already gonna be movement from the walk. I could probably add like a head bob. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk it. Let me check that arm again. Confirm. Yeah. But yeah, every game that tried to do popularize the voxel tech, not even mechanics or aesthetic, but voxel tech, they all flopped. They all flopped. It was just the kind of thing that polygons were moving far too fast. Like now we're almost at a bottleneck we're pretty much at a bottleneck, I would say, for polygon rendering. Mostly because at this point, adding more polygons doesn't make it look any more real or any better than what it is. It's just consuming computer power. So I really see absolutely no reason for people to use to increase the poly count on things. It's just a matter now. It's things like 4K textures and stuff like that because you need more memory for it. So the affordances and the limitations are going elsewhere now. Quick question: is this model created from scratch in Maya or imported something from Magic? I create all my stuff in Cubicle. I don't use Maya. I don't use Magic Voxel. I'll show you here. Actually, I can show you just this one. That's pretty much it. So like I make my stuff in Magic Voxel. I make my stuff in Cubicle. And yeah. And this one is, where is Frankie? It's this. So this is the model. Geez, the model. I don't know how I showed you inside. But it's just fun. And yeah, and then I export it to Maya so I can set up the rig, and then the actual mesh comes out of here directly into Unity, and then they edit it, then they connect it to the rig in Unity, and the animations work. It's pretty straightforward process. That's one way to go about it. The other way is that I actually export it from here with the rig if they want to use it right away. But often what happens is that I create the rig in Maya for the model that I'm basing it off of, then use other models that work off the same rig, and just export it from Cubicle directly into Unity or Unreal. Why do I prefer it over Magica? Because it has a lot more stuff. Cubicle is just a lot more suited for modeling. It doesn't have a beautiful renderer, but who cares when you're going to be rendering your game in an engine and not in Magic of Voxel? Like, it makes no sense. And but yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever to use Magic of Voxel when it has such hard limitations. For example, size of assets. I can make things as big as I want in here. It's all dependent on the computer's limitations. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm about to kill this computer trying to do 1,000 by 1,000. But yeah, Magica has so much more in terms of limitations. I think I just capped it. I'm just gonna kill Cubicle real quick. So yeah, my computer at home can handle this a lot better. This computer can only handle up to a certain amount, but it's fine. When am I going to make models that are 1,000 by 1,000? Though the limitation that Magica sets it at 158 cubed is ridiculous. Like, that's so small. Like, why would I bother? Like, a lot of my models exceed 100. By the way, the sample room level you did for tiny rooms, was it created initially in Cubicle? Yeah. It didn't take long to do in Cubicle. If you're not gonna hold up, I'll sync it up so I can show you. It took no time, and it was rendered in Unity. I don't even touch Magic of Voxel anymore. And it's not even a matter of I don't like it or anything. It's just a matter of I have no use for it. Like all the stuff this is wrong. There you go. Let's see, tiny room. No, it's not here. Make a sync. Voxel work. And sorry, my mouse is not good, so it keeps stuttering. Tiny room. So I'm gonna sync that. But yeah, the stuff that I do that I did for that was all made in Cubicle. It took no time whatsoever. Let me just open it. Icon. So this is the icon. 30 by 30. Took no time. And this is the level. So I just placed all the stuff in here. And when you're modeling, it's great because you can just do that. And you can. Where is it? Normally, this one I have to edit a bunch of things. There. So you can just hide it, and then you can keep modeling on the other things while you can see the effects of the walls around it and stuff. You create all the different assets. It's like it's so much more functional to me. And now Magica is adding what do you call it? It is adding like the ghosting system and being able to create multiple models in the scene. But even then, like that's not gonna make me go to Magic of Voxel. I've been using this tool. I've been using Cubicle for over 15,000 hours. I didn't even know the icons were created by you. Dilmer never mentioned that. It's cool. It's cool. I don't mind. Yeah, like there's really no. I have 15,000 hours in Cubicle. Why would I? It'd be dumb for me to switch to Magic of Voxel, especially when Cubicle has a lot more support. Like Cubicle is supported a lot more. And all the developers that do create voxel games tend to end up having to use Cubicle for putting the models in the game. May I ask a question? I'm currently making a top-down view of a game stage with moving platforms, and I'm using Magica for it. Should I separate the parts in the stage that are moving, or should I include it in the whole project? Yes, definitely separate everything that's going to move, everything that's going to have any physical properties, and be actually tangible. All need to be separate assets. They all need to be separate assets. If you put it all in one room, it's going to be one mesh and one texture, and you won't be able to do anything with it. It's going to be a static object that just sits there, and you put a physical boundary on it, but you can't do anything with it. You can't move it around, or else, because the way all the assets are exported, if you think about it, all the assets are exported like FBX models, and because of that, shit. Hold on, I'm just trying to gauge this. Okay, so from 925, everything that's gonna be exported is FBX or DAE or any 3D asset, but they're not exported as voxel assets. So whatever asset is there is going to be immediately fused all together and turned into a mesh that has it's hollow. Whereas if it was a voxel asset, that wouldn't be the problem. But no one has voxel engines, or very few people have voxel engines. I only know a handful of people who have actively built voxel engines that are voxel engines, like on their own. So yeah. Hey, Dino Skills, how you doing? So it's just keeping in mind the tools that you're using and working with that. So yeah, if you want objects to move, separate them in Magic Voxel so that they're actually individual objects. Rename them so that you can usually put prefix or a suffix to identify what an object is meant to be. If you want it to be an object, type OBJ. If you want it to be animated, write anim and stuff like that. And it's just easy ways for you to remember how to do things. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Have a lot of work to do. Just trying to figure out that the impact should be really quick. When I punch, and then boof, forward punch, the most telegraphed possible of punches. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to rotate the entire body. It's like winding up and then lunging forward, almost. So from 925, I'm going to do 925. And they can do some blending on this, so to 930. 5 frames should be enough, more than enough. You're gonna swing out. You're gonna pull in. Now you're gonna swing all the way. And I can always just move this fist so that it actually comes out forward like that. That's it. Boom, like that. From default to that. Looks pretty good. Just want to confirm. Ah, shit. I need to redo that. I forgot to key everything. Please don't just end. Okay, good. 925, need to key everything. Boop. Alright, 930. Hold up, give me a sec.
Spirit level on your phone.
The what?
Spirit level on your phone. You have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
Can you go to Compass?
Okay. I'm back, sorry. Did I pop in? Hey, I did pop in. This tech is cool. Pixelaki, make up.
Zach,
Need it again?
we need tape measure disappears.
I don't have it. Let's see. how is it to import from something from Cubicle to Maya, for example? Do you have to fight with scale and other settings? Nope, you don't have to fight with scale at all. So all of this, what you see right here, was 1-to-1. I exported it. I'll make another scene just so you guys can use scene. So yeah, so let's say I export this from Cubicle FBX. It's defaulted 1. And I just do that. So actually, I'll specify. So if you want single mesh, it works perfectly fine in Maya. Maya actually detects each separate object that is in Cubicle, all these boxes, as separate assets. Though if you do single mesh, all it means is that it's going to be self-contained into one FBX, which is very useful for things like characters, because you don't need to do any test messing around with textures and stuff. You don't have to mess with the any normal maps or anything, so it's fine. Have you animated high detailed models also, like organic stuff? No-ish. It's like halfway, yes and no. I've done skin rigging and stuff like that, but I have like now in my profession, I do specialize in voxel, so I have no reason to do so, but I do that. Skin rigging is actually kind of fun. I enjoy rigging. I'm a monster. So I'm going to save this in a temporary file. I'm just going to call it temp. I'll get rid of the folder. So you have that, and you drop it here. So if you were to just take this, drop it in, and boom, it's done. You can scale it as to however you like, but as you saw in Cubicle on export, you can set your own variables, and then set that, and then make sure that that's the variables you want for when you export it, and it's going to be fine in Maya. And you hit 6, by the way, to activate the textures, so you can see that. And all you have to do aside from that is open up the Hypershade window, and then click the texture. This doesn't matter unless you're rendering in Maya. You just click on the texture and turn off the filter, and then you can see everything 1-to-1 pixelated. So you get. So this will be like an Android game stuff, or no. This is in Unity. It's gonna be a game that you guys play and stuff. So it's not an issue, but I don't know why I say it's an issue to begin with. Yeah, it's not Android. I don't actually make many mobile games. I'm only working on one right now. Open that. Go back to where I was. There you go.
I'm mugging you.
What?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Boop, ba-doop, boom. That, pull in. Sorry, just give me a sec. I just want to return to where I was, and I'll answer you guys' question. Zip. Multiple questions. Oops. Also, this is an old rig. I think this rig is almost a year old, and I wish I could change it because I'm much better at rigging now. Too low, need to raise you up. Yeah, feet stay planted. This one I'm gonna actually bring down like that. I could raise the leg if I wanted to. That's fine actually. I'll just go like this. If I were to, actually, what I'm going to do is hide the entire rig, so you can just see how it plays out. It's actually good. Cool.
I'm mugging you.
Anyways, let's see. Oh man, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, it's very straightforward. Are there any books, vids, blogs, or any references you can suggest to improve my elementary level Vox crafts, like voxel stuff? I have videos on YouTube if you want to do that. I do minor tutorials on things like how to design specific characters, and I'm just gonna pull up my YouTube channel so you can just check it. I have a full article explaining my process and how I got to the aesthetic I've got, if that helps you. And I have also on my website, This one is a little less informative. On my website, I have old blogs that I wrote, which should help inform you on just things I've done, and like you can learn from that, I guess, on like how I did my process, how I came to my line of thinking with voxel modeling and stuff, and that should help you out. But the YouTube videos should help you out most. I have some old, you'll see from like when I started doing voxel art 3-4 years ago to where I am now, and you'll see like the differences and stuff. But yeah, take your time, read as much of that as you want. Boom, okay, that should be good. All right, and I can add forward motion to the character as he punches. So, okay. Oh, I didn't see that one. Hammerhead Punch. All right, well, the wind-up punch is done. That ended on 35 to be safe. Ended on 35. Okay. So I'm gonna just tell her that. Wind-up starts at what? It's like 8.95, I think. Yes. Yes. It's weird. I could cross the feet, and I think I will, because the wind up really emphasizes the power that's going through it. So you definitely need to cross the feet. Thank you. I need you. Turn out like that. And boom. Yep. That should be enough, mind you. This 935. Delete you again. And then key you. Good. Okay. So yeah, starts at 895 to 895 to 935. Wind up and punch. Perfect. Start a combination of FK or IK or just IK. Just IK. There's no need for me to go over the top and do a bunch of things with FK. Just need IK. Put in some IK and Christ, this mouse. I want to gut it. It's so bad. Yeah, just IK and pull vectors and you're good. Okay, cool. I'll just show you an example of a rig that I did yesterday of a spider. So I have this spider here. And I have a bunch of animations of it. I think it's what, 40 to 70, right? Yeah, for the walk. And if you want to see the rig, like just the rig. It's really, really simple. It's a really simple and straightforward spider rig. Nothing crazy. And I think this one starts at 80. Yeah. But yeah. With simple IK, you don't need to go too far. IK and pull vectors and you're good. Go wider. It is cute. It is cute. I like it a lot. And yeah, so I guess got the wind up punch. I think the next one that she wants is, so I got the windmill, wind up, and she has 3 more. Hammerhead punch. Both fists up high, slam down, and forward. So like slam like that. Okay. If our fists weren't huge, I'd be asking for interlocking fingers and then slam it. Okay, it actually helps me to understand. Might look better if the fists swoop down at an angle as they go high to low. Oh yeah, if they go sideways like that rather than forward directly, that would be nicer. Okay, so in that case, I'm going to get the default pose again. Leave this here. Copy. I'm gonna go to 940. Just wanna be sure I'm not breaking anything. There you go. 940. Paste there. I'm gonna start at 945. Alright. If you guys want music, let me know. I'll put on music. Alright, so there's the slam down like this. There's a torso spin, which is like the sword spin in Zelda, but instead it's using the fist. And the last one is tied from a Superman punch. So if you animate as though they jump and land in the same place, I can give the attack movement while they're in the air. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna jump up, punch, and land again. Oh man, choosing which one to do first is tricky. I think I'm gonna do the interlocking fist since that one requires less work. I don't have to do crazy things with the legs, just legs on it quite yet, which is nice. Trying to make sure everything's keyed. Yes. Keyed again. Okay, so I'm actually gonna make the first frame of this, leaning back. Arm up. I can take advantage of the fists because of the kind of character designs we came up with. The fist can just be like straight up in the air. Does not matter. It matters, but not entirely. I can rotate that. Actually, I just want to make sure. Okay, yeah, sweet. And yes. To bring this closer together, though, just need to be touching, as if they're holding hands, like that. Perfect. So what I can do is just swing it down like that. There's gonna be a lot of tweaking and stuff, but it's worth it. Are you just blocking out, or is it a wind-up punch about the level of polish you'd finish animations on? I'm just blocking it out. I don't want to do too much polish just yet. The wind-up I want to do more. I want to see how it plays in the game as well before I do anything. Often with client work, I need to go do a lot of back and forth. Like the spider, I pretty much polished it right away because there is a client, but there's less back and forth necessary. Whereas this one, I'd like to do a lot more back and forth since it's a fighting game. All of the combat needs to make a lot more sense and needs to actually be confirmed to work before you can just assume it works. Thanks. See you later, Mike and the rest. I'm glad you stopped by. But yeah, I want to add a lot more polish to pretty much all the animations. Like I want to add a lot more body motion into swinging, like kind of like how I did it with this. This one's pretty much final. There's not much else I can do unless they want it to come in and out as well, like a lot more human rather than full 90. But the way she phrased it is she wanted it to be like a full rotation. So I don't know, but a lot of the other stuff here is all polished, I think. Like yeah, the walk animations for the side movement. I have a fall animation from standing, fall into the back. Let me see what else I got here. Got the walk, back walk, idle for wanting to fight. This is just silly. So there's that things with the arms swinging out to the sides. It's just as a stun animation. So when you get stunned, the characters will not default to a T-pose, but the hands will swing. So depending on what it is, it blends with it. There's a standard punch. I don't know what is this? Oh yeah, this is just switching to the idle position. And it's fall back, breathing on the ground, trying to raise itself back up. I kind of want to clean that one up still. And then, then I have a hero landing, superhero landing. And then falling. And now where we're at. Where am I? It's at 9:45, right? Is that I do? Leave? Yeah, 9:45. Okay, cool. So yeah, ideally what I should be doing here is stretching out both bones so that I don't leave too much for one bone to influence the movement. See, so like this is an issue. See, what I would have done if I were to remake this rig is actually set pull vectors on the elbows. That way I can actually have better control of the elbows and how they're pointing. But also the reason why I never did it to begin with is because the game doesn't matter too much on elbows and stuff because the arms don't exist. So like if I were to turn off the rig, it would look like this, and that's pretty much what I want. And I would want that to swing down, so shit, I fucked up, didn't I? I set the key at a random location. No? Good. Good. Not good. Not good. And yeah. So this one here, what I would do is actually swing down, but the legs kind of like pop out to the sides behind it, so it's like a lot more impact. What's this up and swallow if she weren't? I'm just trying to read the description of how she wanted me to do it. So Falkland log that. Yeah, so I'm gonna make it swoop down at an angle. So we're gonna take both of these fists, move them up to the side, rotate them back like this. This way. Ah, crap, I did it again. Put it in the wrong frame. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna grab these two. Could raise it higher too. Let's see why not. But the idea is that the animations are very expressive and very easy to understand as a player who's going to be fighting them. So a lot of these animations can be applied onto enemy characters. So if you understand it, then you're good. As soon as you see it up, you know to move back or else it's going to slam in the middle. And then bring it down to that. It's good because it immediately goes to where I want it. You see how broken that is? Like, oh, why? See, the issue here that bugs me is that the fist is now rotating at the wrong spot. It looks like it's slammed and it's rotated incorrectly, which makes it extremely disconcerting. Okay, so you see now, like, this is less of an issue. Now it's just a matter of keeping them linked as they move in game space. Let me see again. Okay, slam. Is it at 55? No, 56. And I'm going to swing the body forward, but now I'm going to have to readjust the arms, which is fine. But yeah. That's about right. Looks about right, rather. Might not be fast enough. And also have to set the timing. Yeah, it's not fast enough at all. And I have to set the timing so that the punch lands earlier. God, this is times like this I regret this rig. It's far too much to the side. I did that mistake again. Okay, and let's bring all of this much earlier. Take this. So now it's, yeah, that's a lot better. Still too slow on the legs. That's not it. Let's see. Ugh. Yeah, if you have any other questions, ask me whatever you want. I don't really mind. I'm glad this camera works. I'm glad that the stream is actually like super crisp and good. I'm glad. I'm glad as a whole. Let's see. I should forget about the tail. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would definitely just block this, keep it as is, send it to them and see what they think. Also, see how it plays out for them. Because they would have to blend tree this anyways, and blend it into the idle position once the animation ends. The last thing one thing I actually don't like doing is putting ends on animations that shouldn't have ends, like things like this where it's just instant and it just goes right back to a different pose. It's usually best to just leave it like this and then you tween it in. So I'm gonna consider this one done for now. I'm gonna frame it at what, 55? Which gives me a little bit of extra room in case I want to do other animations or tie-ins. We're gonna do that. Okay. Actually, if I do this, what I'm gonna do? Wrong one. Do that. What's gonna happen is that this is meant to rotate like that. The head. Right. Yeah. Shouldn't have ended that at 55. It's at 53 if I'm mistaken. Right? Yeah, it's at 53. Do. Perfect. Key at 55. Good. So this is 9:45 to 9:55. It tends to make, because of the way I'm going about it, animations tend to not take long on this, which is nice. No. Yes. Wait, now I can get rid of that file, that folder I made on my desktop. I don't need it. It's still being used? What? Doesn't make any sense. I'll get rid of it later. Okay, so I got the Hammerhead Punch slam on there. What's left? Superman Punch. Should be fun. To think I didn't want to do this because of I wanted to do this one because I didn't want to use much for the feet, but eh. Alright, 60 is going to go back to idle. Okay, good. So we 960. Good. This is going to be in the Superman Punch. So Superman Punch pose. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, is this the full motion of Superman Punch? Okay. Small hop forward. Okay. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. So, swing up, kick. Okay, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna keep this time right there. And I'll just keep referencing it. For those here still watching, thank you for being here and for still watching. Okay, so the original pose for it is this leg back. I'm gonna keep you a little bit down so the back foot is correctly oriented. Something like that. Slightly tilted. The head forward. Okay. I can kind of leave the arms there if I wanted. Okay. Okay, so first movement, I'm gonna go to 30, so that's gonna be at 90. First movement is, let me get that there, doesn't matter on the timing right now, so long as we block out the animation and then we can work with that. First movement is this, with the leg like up like this. Actually gonna go like that. And much higher elevation, pretty much under toes, under toe. What is going on? What the? There we go. Just legs out a lot more. Cool. All right. Arms up. And then second. So this is 1, 2. It's going to be leg out. This fully stretched out. Put this foot forward and down. Body's totally rotated and leaning like so. Head is up and facing forward. This arm is totally recoiled back. Fist tucked. And this arm is completely reached out. Hopefully this will translate well when fully animated. And should be, yeah. Okay, so this needs to be pulled down. It's weird. It's always the case when, like, this is when I wish I had a rig that included the toes, because then I can work with that. Okay. There we go. Check out the telegram real quick. Okay. So, yeah, that armor's gonna reach out. Punch. Then land. Is going to be here. Doesn't matter. Okay, so they land on this foot. Which is good. This leg is then brought in. Body's brought back in a little bit more. Still rotated. Fists in. I'm actually going to take it from the initial position. Put it there. So yeah, there you go. It's brought back in. This one's also brought forward again. Like that. So they punch out, bring back in. Perfect. And then lastly, it returns back to an upright position with this leg forward. This leg down. Can do that, and then I'm gonna end it all. Copy 85 here. No, so that's a mistake. And end it on 90. Should give enough time. What just happened here? No, okay, this is not great. The motion's there, which is nice. So the fist though doesn't, you don't see it coming towards you, which is a shame. So what I'm gonna do is tuck this arm still in. That way, when I punch it forward, it's a lot more obvious. This goes out, but this also needs to go out like that. See, now the issue is this hand needs to properly rotate like this. So let's see how this looks from the side. Yeah, probably punch sticks itself out, which is nice. Now the elevation is the issue here. So this does go up. What's going on? I think it's the graph. I'll be able to check it with that. I feel like the initial frame that I set just snap. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yep, it's completely breaking it. What I mentioned in the other stream regarding like the animation curves, sometimes just breaking it outright. This is an example of that. No, it's fine. Let's see now. Yeah, see, that's already much better. It's not great, it's still not perfect, but it's much better. So yeah, he definitely does go from this position. Actually, what I'm gonna do is take the core, rotate out like this, so that it feeds more to the back leg using, the power comes from the back leg a lot more now, which is what I wanted. This feeds perfect. Now how does it play? Alright, the issue here is still height. I'm not getting the height that I need. So this is right. It needs to go higher on the kick. So as a whole, these three parts need to rise. Much better. The only issue now I'm having is the left foot, this one here. There's not much information coming from it. You can't really read it well. So like from here, this needs to still be down. Still down, and then up. I think it's too high, like, there you go. It's better. Perfect, yeah, and then when you land on a much flatter foot, which is what I want. I think I'm gonna make it pull in. I'm gonna rewatch that punch. So let's see. Okay. Ah, I see one problem. This leg needs to be a lot more front when rising. It's pretty much all the force comes from it. So it's like, and then kick. Yeah, much better. Yeah. A lot better. I think the only other part that's lacking is the rotation. Because the rotation's already, when it's up here, it's already fully done. I think I still need to keep it straight like this. So that when it rotates, it's a lot more impactful. There you go. Now it's really punching forward. Excellent. So like this is already a lot more polished animation, mostly because the animation works best polished. Hey, Star Explorer, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Got a nice Superman punch in there. What I'm gonna do is, whoops, wrong thing. Gonna see how this looks without the rig. I think it works, but not quite. It's like, that one's fine. The arm hasn't pulled in. I need to pull it in, the left arm. Nonetheless, it needs to be pulled in. So yeah, this should help. Yeah, oh my god, yeah, okay. I think as a whole, I'm gonna move part of this entirely forward, since I can. I need to attribute more time on the lead up. Yeah, so that helps. Much better. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. All right. Well, I got that one done. I think there's only one more animation now. Yes. 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 Yeah. All that's left is the torso spin. I'm going to export this so that Meg can start using it. Superman Punch 960 to 990. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm going to key everything on 990 to make sure that doesn't break. Yeah, okay. It's done charging. My mouse is no longer going to flicker out of control. It's weird. If you plug into USB on the mouse to charge it, as it's being plugged in and plugged out, it loses connection. So it's best to not keep it plugged in. Okay, so this wind-up punch, it's a mystery to me. I'm going to start this at 1,000. We've hit 1,000. Perfect. Just want to make sure. Cool. Would you recommend working as a 3D animator or modeler to save up enough money to go to college? It's just that the college I want to go to is overseas, so I have to go to 2 universities to study what I want. So are you saying as a freelancer? Is there more of a viability as a 3D modeler freelance or as a 3D animator freelance? Because ideally, if you can do both, you're pretty much like an awesome package deal, because most people can either do one or the other, but they can't do both. And also depends on the aesthetic that you're going for. If you're going for like 3D high poly stuff, the clients you're going to find are usually going to want full-time, like large contracts, because it's more in AAA stuff. If you want some low poly stuff that fits more with the indie aesthetic, like flat shaded and like non-intense rendering and stuff, then you're likely to get it's better if you know both animation and modeling. That way you can do the full pipeline and you have more assured work that way. But if you want to go with 3D animating, that's also like a viable route. Though with animation, it's a lot harder to get work. If you want to just do animation, it's a lot harder. Because usually animation jobs don't tend to be short-term contracts and stuff, and when they are, it's usually that kind of stuff is generally contracted out to companies that have part-timers and stuff. So I would say ideally go with modeling. If you want to do work, just crunch on modeling, practice that a lot, get good enough at it so that you can do a relative amount of content in a pretty fast rate, and then you should start from there. I think that's the best option if it's between the two. Like I don't know what your experience is in either, so that's the best advice I can give. I personally do get a lot of work as a voxel modeler and animator, and the adding as animation thing helps a lot to solidify contract work, because they don't have to like split work up in here. So like if I only did modeling, I doubt I would get half the work I get, because I would not be usable for the entire pipeline. Whereas because I can do rigging and animating, I like often it's just like, hey, can you do a spider character? And they don't even ask about like, hey, can you do just the modeling, or hey, can you do just the animating? It's like, no, do a spider character, and then it's assumed that I do the entire process, and I do, and then it works out great. So it's, yeah. Find what aesthetic you want to aim for too in terms of modeling and modeling. Find the aesthetic you want to aim for, crunch on that, try to achieve it as much as you can, and then start working in that. Because what matters most when you're doing 3D modeling is not how good you are. Well, it's how good you are with the tool, especially, but it's more the aesthetic. If your aesthetic fits something, you're shoo-in for that, because you're, say, 1 in 10,000 people. That's still a lot, but 1 in 10,000 people who can do that aesthetic. And the more specialized you get on your aesthetic and the more cool it looks to certain people and stuff, the more likely you are to get work, because you have a very specialized aesthetic that very few people can do, like myself. So let's see. Spartan fist. Your attack animation set. Torso spin. Whole body spinning with the fists as they walk forward or the like, damaging in all directions. So am I adding a walk animation? I think it's just easier for me to just to animate the top spinning and ignoring the weight and ignoring the legs, and then just keep doing a blend shape of the legs with it. Interesting. Well, I'm not actually going to do that one because I'm going to talk to them more about it before I break anything, because I would likely break my rig if I did that. So I'm going to call it done here. This is all the stuff I have for this project, and everything else I have is NDA, and I can't show it while working on it, and I got to work on that now. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining the stream. I hope to do this more often if possible. So and now it seems a lot more likely. Especially with the setup I currently have. And yeah, so have a good one. Thanks for watching. And if you have any advice, follow me on Twitter, follow me here, send me messages. I'm happy to answer them. So yeah, see you later. Thanks for watching.